I feel that with AudaCity, I don't have that constraint, also that extra pressure that added to my mind.
So I'll just get started by saying who I am and what I'm doing today. So my name is Leah from the PR department of AudaCity Capital. And at the moment, we're just conducting a few interviews with our traders just to find out a bit more about how they got interested in trading and where they started. So
Sure.
my first question for you is just to introduce yourself and then explain how you got interested in trading and where it all began, basically.
Sure, perfect. So my name is Roger Castro. I'm 33 years old. I'm originally from Venezuela, and I started like now it's been 3 years actually. To be honest, I started in that moment of the hype that was with IML, also with Forex and different stuff. I get with some teachers, if we could say that in that time. So basically, I started in that. Then I lost and spent more and more and more. So I get to the point that I get tired of that. Then I pass from Forex to futures. I get with another person from my same nationality. So at the end, I was with him in a course. And after that course, I started again investing in futures. I was with NASDAQ 100, US 30, and DAX 30. I was more in that hype. It was good, not the best actually. And I get like the beginner trading that I was too overwhelmed with the information. I was believing that I was the best of those time because I was getting consistency. The first 2 3 months, it was really good. But later on, because of that too much confidence on point of life, I get to the point that I start losing, and I get to funding tests also with all the different companies, and I continue keeping losing more. So I get to the time, okay, I get tired of it. I get rid of that or everything, and I focus on establish the base of everything. I start studying on my own, filtering a lot of YouTube things, also filtering that. Then I get to understand how it should be the proper way to do, what is risk reward, how I should analyze it, all the things that I have to be done. Then I started with low capital on my own, but it wasn't the scenario that I was looking for. I was looking for having another type of performance over the future, also foreseeing myself. And I get to the point that it wasn't possible to get a loan from a bank to actually have a really medium account or a big account. I done at that point Fountain Talent, FTMO, but that constraint that those two companies have it, that point that you have a daily and also the global loss that you can actually afford and these kind of things actually affect your mindset, affect how you trade, how you actually go with everything. So I get to the point that okay, let's not do that anymore. Then I find out AudaCity by uh, Instagram, I think. Yeah, I think that Instagram, I find it. I ask some colleagues, some friends that I have in some trading communities that I'm using on. Then they actually told me that there's a company from the UK that is really serious that actually give you the funding if you actually pass the whole process of selection, and if you get it, you will go there. So that's how I get it to this in the community of AudaCity.
Great. Number one, I'm glad you're enjoying AudaCity Capital so far. That's great to hear. And yeah, that's very interesting. So you mentioned about a teacher before, but did you have
Yeah.
any previous education in trading, or did you teach yourself, or did you have a
Actually,
mentor?
I have some supposed mentors. I have different courses, but at the end it was so many information that at the end everyone keeps saying some stuff, and I find out with some person that I actually mentors officially, but I didn't have the budget to actually pay for their mentorship, to actually find out, okay, where were the key concepts that I need to go and focus on. And I make a 100 trade challenge as my own to actually focus on if this strategy works, develop my own way of doing it, go actually aside of that, try to avoid emotional stuff, because if you get emotional, revenge, and you go again to the market and you try to actually recover, or that mindset that you need to recover what the markets have taken, that's stuff that you need to erase. So those are steps that I have to take on my own, basically because there was so many persons outside that it wasn't easy to find out who was the proper one, and those proper ones are really expensive, like 8K a course of 5 days or a month. And I was like, no, it doesn't make any sense to spend these kind of things for this kind of mentorship. If I'm going to have a mentor, it should be a person that I will be with me like 6 months, teaching me from the basics to the more proficient stuff, how to avoid this concept that is called demons, that you get the revenge trade, that over leverage, and these kind of things. So I get used on my own with this, and then I try it again.
Great, that sounds great. And I think most people are doing what you're doing as well, and going, they do courses, they have mentors. Whether the mentors seem to help or not is another
Yes.
question. But yeah, that's great. I find it very admirable that people do that and teach themselves from the bottom up, which is great to hear. So you're on the Funded Trader program with AudaCity
Yeah.
Capital, yeah? Great.
Yes.
So how are you finding it so far? Do you have any feedback, or how's your trading been?
Actually, it's going good. Is now is the moment that the market's not the best suited. It's like everything is a mess. You don't have like common patterns if something is going up, down, or is sideways. You get to the point that there's some stick stuff that it can be a bothering situation. But aside of that, I feel really happy because the spread that you offer is really good. Also, that you don't have that constraint that basically on you need to constrain yourself on daily losses. You can actually have more swing than scalping on intraday trading, because in that way you focus your mindset on level up what you want, and you are not actually looking for profit, or you are actually focusing on that. You only go ahead of what do you want to achieve, and that's it. You concentrate on that and analyze and think on trades. You don't think about money, because that's the other thing. Because basically with all the companies, you see that you have 30 days, so in that 30 days you need to actually make this quantity of money. You have to pay again. No, I feel that with AudaCity I don't have that constraint, also that extra pressure that added to my mind, that at the end is going to be most frustrating, and if I don't achieve it, it's going to be worse. So yeah, I feel really happy, to be honest.
Great. I'm really glad that you're enjoying it. And definitely that's what we try to stray away from, like 30-day challenges or any challenges really. That's why we just have our interview process. And if you get accepted, you're accepted and you begin trading. So that's what we
Yeah.
think is the best. So I'm very glad that you're enjoying it. That's great to hear. My last question is a little bit of a tricky one, but I ask it to everyone I
No
interview.
problem.
And it is, what is the best advice you could give to someone who's just starting their trading journey? So this could be something that
Sure.
you might have wanted to hear whenever you started trading, something that you found really beneficial that you would like to share with someone else.
I will say that don't focus on profit. Profit on consistency. You need to actually focus yourself on consistency. If you find yourself at the point that you are losing a lot, you need to find the consistency that you go from losing a lot to lose less, then to the lose less to don't lose, then to don't lose to be profit. So, and aside of that, don't try to be perfect. There is not a perfect system. Normal business, not only in this one, also in everyone, you will have bad days. You will lose. It's common sense. So there is no magic key or holy grail that will say, yeah, you will be 100% consistency and you will not lose. No, that's the biggest lie that you will find in the market. So stick out of that of your head and focus on being consistent and be happy what you are doing on.
Definitely. I think that is some great advice, and hopefully someone who is watching this in the future will take that into account, because I think that's some brilliant advice. And I think that's everything for me today. So thank you so much for this
Perfect.
interview. It's been lovely meeting
No, no
you and
problem.
hearing your story. And hopefully in a few weeks or months we can catch up again and see how you're doing with the
Yeah, of
exam.
course. Of
Perfect.
course.
Have a lovely day, Roger.
Thanks a lot, you too.